Hey guys, really quickly before this video starts, I just kind of want to explain what's going on because this video is just it's a fucking awesome video. But I got the voice actor from Bully, TJ Del Reno. He voices Ricky Bacino, and I didn't even get to ask him all the questions I wanted to because I just got so caught up in talking to this guy. I didn't, I wanted to ask him more about Rockstar and all this other stuff, but maybe I might try to get him on here again. He also might appear on me and my friend's podcast. But yeah, so that's what this whole episode is. Don't expect a lot of the story. I will be playing it, but it's just so fucking awesome to have TJ on here. If he sees this, again, TJ, thank you a million. This is definitely the highlight of my YouTube channel at this point in time. Anyway, though, guys, go enjoy the video. Thank you. All right, so you can see me. You can see Bully, right?
Yeah. I mean, it runs kind of wonky, but I think it's because we're watching over the internets, but it's fine. I can see it works great.
All right. So, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so this is a fucking exciting episode. I have the voice actor of Ricky Bacino, and in real life his name is TJ Del Reno, which I like that those kind of rhyme. Ricky Bacino, TJ Del Reno.
Oh, that's right. Hello. Hello. Yeah, they rhyme. That's how I booked it. They were like, we need an Italian, half Italian kid, and they were like, this one's fine. Oh.
Alright, so we are going to be doing some of the missions. So we actually have to go find Johnny Vincent, but real quick, any chance you want to choose my wardrobe for me? You want to dress a young 15-year-old boy with?
Yes, I definitely do. What a dream it was. You have bandana. What else do you have for the head?
I got hats. I got visors. I got it all. I got the Edna mask.
Ooh. What else you got?
Skull mask, or a ninja mask, Pumpkinhead.
Ooh. Well, do Pumpkinhead.
Okay,
I'm a big horror fan.
Oh, dude, same.
Yeah, huge. I just rewatched all of the Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Just like I like just like in a row, like every night, just watched one because I have nothing better to do.
Yeah, during this whole quarantine.
Let's see. I know. Tell me about it. Ooh, a metal shirt.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you like all my tattoos? Okay, look at this tattoo on the left arm. Once Jimmy puts his hands down, it looks like a penis, doesn't it? It looks like.
It does.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a knife, and I fucking laugh at that every time I ever look at it. I got the sweatbands. I also have a gold watch, white gold.
Ooh,
normal gold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gold watch. Let's keep. Yeah, go to the legs. The arms look good. I like the tattoos.
Okay. The legs.
If this was me when I was 15, it would have been ripped jeans with long johns underneath.
Actually, hold on. I think
let's
see. I have some crisp jeans. Actually, hold on. I wonder if I have the ripped jeans. Let's see. Plaid punk pants.
Oh my god. Pants. I was like, so when I was 15, I was a huge grunger, and I was a mall rat too, so I had a bunch of like mall rat friends.
Oh, there it is.
And yeah, and then my friends do the punk pants if you don't have ripped ones. And I had like punk friends, and I always like grunge and punk is so close. I was like obsessed with like dressing punk, and for like one full week, I used to have long hair down to my like the below my shoulders.
Really? And now you're bald now, so that's man.
Yeah, completely. I mean, my mom, every time I see her, she's always like, "Oh, you used to have such beautiful hair," and I'm always like, "Thanks, mom." Do you have any boots? Getting
Boots?
Doc Martens.
Boots. Yeah, I got boots. Where are they? There.
Seized. So yeah, I remember I borrowed my friend's clothes, one of my punk friend's clothes, for like a week, and then dressed punk in the mall for a week, and I tried to mohawk my hair.
Oh no, I got a studded bracelet for you. There you go.
Well, there we go. It was too long and just wouldn't work, but I remember I did it for like one full week, just being punk rock. But nice. I like that, and also, yeah, so that works.
All right, cool, perfect.
Perfect.
All right, so let's
played this in so long.
I play this. I'm not fucking with you almost every year because this is probably my favorite video game.
Really? I really kind of like. I have it on PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to get I should play it again. I want to play Red Dead 2 really bad. I haven't played that at all.
I stopped playing Red Dead 2 near the end of the story because I just sorry, I'm drinking water. Yeah, let's go find Johnny Vincent. Out of my fucking way. Actually, wait, hold on. I have the go-kart. Hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah, let me go skateboard all the way over here. Yeah, no, I play this game almost every year. Actually, that's actually a question I actually wanted to ask you. So you did voice work. So you voiced Ricky Bacino and Bully. you did voice work in GTA 4 and 5. Did you do any voice work for Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, I didn't. I have a ton of friends that did voice work in Red Dead Redemption 2. I didn't do one either. Cool
Wow.
thing is when I first booked this, I was very early in VO, which you can hear when you play the game.
Yeah.
And
No, we'll find you later and we'll go beat you up. Don't worry about it.
Oh, great, perfect. And then so I remember like the first thing I ever booked was a TV commercial called Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Oh, okay.
That was really new with voice. Like I never went to acting school. I went to art school and then
Oh shit.
started doing stand-up when I was in art college and improv comedy. So it just was not acting was never a thing I wanted to care about. And
we just ran you over.
Yeah. And then did you?
I ran you over.
Oh, no, that's the best part is playing like GTA and I could find my pedestrian just punch me in the face. So it was like like I was so nervous of auditioning it. I remember like going in a room and they had this little voiceover booth built in the middle of the room. And I forgot what the secret name was called.
I think in the Swecta interview you said something like mascots.
I think it was something like that. Yeah. So it was just so weird, and like I just had like this weird Italian New York kind of accent. And I couldn't believe I booked it. And dude, Rockstar is so cool, and like I've only worked with them for like GTA 4 and The Ballad of Gay Tony. That's it. But I didn't audition for. I don't think I auditioned for Red Dead at all, and I didn't book anything for the first or the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which sucks. But I mean, it's just like they're really good because once you work with them once, like Ballad of Gay Tony, I don't even think I auditioned. I think they just
called
sent
you
me an email and they're like, yeah, I think they were just kind of like, hey, are you interested in me personally? They're like my agent's like, I don't know if I sent an audition or not. I think it's kind of like once they use you once, Rockstar has always been.
They have like a list.
Really, it's like a list that they're really awesome with. Like, hey, we need some like even the pedestrian. I think was like I auditioned for different character, but then they're just like, well, no. Is that which one is that? It's Johnny, right?
No, that's Norton and Lola. Johnny got kidnapped by orderlies.
Oh, which one is this for? This is
the last chapter of the game. This is where you gotta go fight some townies.
Oh, okay. What systems are you playing on Xbox One?
Oh yeah, Xbox all the way.
Now tell me.
Yeah, me too. I have like all my PlayStation friends just always like make fun of me for.
Oh, it's funny. What am I? There we go. It's actually funny because me and my friend group, most of us have an Xbox, and then our one friend has like a PlayStation, and he's like, "You guys should all go get PlayStations." And we all just looked at him like, "Do you realize how that would cost us way more money than if you just got an Xbox?" And then we finally convinced him, and he's gonna go buy an Xbox.
Yeah, or like if everyone wants to like pitch in and just buy. It's so weird though. We're all adults. Someone should buy their own stuff. I've had friends that are very like adamantly. My brother, like I was trying to get my brother to an Xbox just because he used to play Xbox 360 and Xbox the original. How he plays, he's like the PC person that's just like, no, man, PC's the best. It's like, yeah, I get PCs like great, but you gotta always update your video card. No one's on there. There's nothing cross-platform, so it's like, so dumb. Even now, I'm trying to beat Borderlands 3, and I started playing Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning again.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. I've recently been replaying the first two Saint Row games because I forgot how fucking awesome those games were.
Yeah, those games are so fun. My brother loves those games.
Yeah, the one thing I hate about those games is you have to do like all these activity missions to earn respect so that way you can go do missions, and it's like it's a headache and a half occasionally.
Yeah, Just Cause 3 was the same thing that I was watching when I played 2. Like 2 was so fun. Then like you had to do these like racing missions to like upgrade parts to play the game, and it's like, man, I don't like racing missions or main missions. Like I just want to like play the game.
Yeah.
So it's so aggravating.
Yeah,
I mean, I talk about
there's this huge thing that people are worried about. If Bully 2 ever does get a sequel, Rockstar is gonna fuck it up by, because I believe in Red Dead Redemption 2 there are some missions that you need to pay for or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but Swagta talked about it. And like,
Really?
yeah, no, there was something where you have to buy like you have to buy something so you can play these certain missions, but they weren't like DLC missions; they were part of the story or something. I forgot what it
Oh,
was,
sweet.
but it was just like I would be so pissed if I was about to play, Bully 2, and it's like, oh, you want to play this mission? Well, toss us $5. That's the one thing I hate
So,
about today's games is it's all about microtransactions, and it's the most annoying thing.
yeah, I mean, they learned. I talk about this on my podcast, Unlimited Lives, a lot, which is like it's like gaming news, and me and my buddy, and we just like the news, and it's like we try to be as funny as we can. We
Yeah.
talk about, it's a lot of it is microtransactions. Really, I don't care about DLC. Never bothers me. If it's like extra, like a whole extra part of like if the game is a full 10 to 12 hour game.
Yeah.
The DLC is like another like $30, but then you're adding on 6 or 7 more hours. Like, I'm all about it, but the microtransactions really screw everything up. And even now with, like, I'm playing Call of Duty a lot, which I don't like Call of Duty, but like I have friends that play it, and I'm like, I'm having fun. It is like a pay to win game, because if I dump $80, I can unlock all these attachments for these guns. You know, it's just like,
yeah, but
I didn't know that with Red Dead.
Yeah, it doesn't make the games fun anymore. And like I miss like the days where pretty much like old PlayStation 2 games were the shit. Like, oh my god, what was it? Wu-Tang Takes the Pain, or Wu-Tang Shaolin Style. Like, that was just a fucking game where you play as a group of rappers fighting ninjas. Like, that's the coolest shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Got caught.
I think you died. You died?
No, I got caught. I got caught. Yeah, no.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no. I'm a 15-year-old at a Sail Asylum ward. Yeah, they shanked me.
That's always good. I got shanked there. I didn't know that about Red Dead. I gotta really play. I have Red Dead 2 here. It's such a massive game.
It really is. And the thing is, I like GTA Online. Me and my friends used to always hop on GTA Online together, blow shit up, have fun. But on Red Dead Redemption 2, it doesn't feel as fun as it was for GTA Online. And plus, like, leveling up in that game is a pain in the ass, and like you pretty much you have to pay just to have a decent experience in that game, from what I feel like.
Yeah, I gotta look into that. What that pay mission is. It's weird. Like DLC, I'm down with.
Oh yeah, no, DLCs are the best thing. And the thing that really upset me most about GTA Online was that because of GTA Online and how big it was, we never got story expansions for GTA 5. Like in GTA 4, we got the Battle Gate Tony and all that.
Yeah.
Which is actually interesting, because that makes GTA 5 the second game in Los Santos not get an expansion on the story, just like GTA San Andreas never did. Actually, GTA San Andreas got one, but it was in the form of like a movie, kind of, and it kind of showed like the life before CJ came to San Andreas.
I played those in so long.
Make you feel old.
I don't. Yeah, it's like I remember like San Andreas. I remember playing in college. But
yeah.
Kind of fell off. Like Red Dead 1 I beat and I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Oh yeah, no, I love Red Dead Redemption. I remember me and my friend traded games so I could borrow that from him.
1 was so good, and 2 is amazing. Just like I was saying, it's such a massive game. It's over. Yeah. Even though now is like the time to do it because we have time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm legit. I ain't doing shit. Like I'm not. I can't do stand up because all the clubs are closed, and then improv is. I'm not in. Little secret. I'm not in New York anymore.
Oh shit! Are you in like an underground bunker somewhere? Is Rockstar keeping all their valuable voice actors?
Yep, all their valuable ones that did Pedestrians. A cattle corral, just in case they're like, "Ooh, keep those milky, juicy voices from getting scratchy."
Yeah, there it is. The feeding you and everything.
Yeah,
Rockstar takes good care of the people.
Yeah, so they just have No, I had to. New York got crazy, and a little secret with VO acting is like, because unless you're a voice actor, you're not gonna know. But it's since everything closed, VO, like you could do a lot of work as a VO person, but if you don't have a home studio, can't do anything. So I had to move out of I left New York because I couldn't build a studio in the apartment I was living in. It was just too too small and too weird.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had to go out in good old Pennsatucky. So Pennsylvania, my brother has like a cool house, and he had a closet that was like a little walk-in closet. And he's like, I had to set up a booth, which I've never done because I'm a stupid actor and I'm a comic, and that, like, I don't, my podcast, like audio stuff, I'm a huge audio nerd.
Yeah.
Like buying gear. Like I love buying gear, and I love like gearing things out. Like it's fun. But if I told you like, yo, go build a voiceover booth in your closet, you'd just be like, you know, you're not a sound engineer.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Like if I told you go build a car, like, dude, go build a car, and you're like, I can't build. What do you mean? And I'm like, you could you could order the parts and build a car.
I like that you say that. Yet, like on Monday when we were supposed to film this, you were like, no, I gotta go help my friend build a deck.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did have to go build a deck. That is
Yeah.
that is 100% correct.
Yeah.
100%. And let me tell you, very fun. My buddy ripped up his deck. He wanted me. I like doing stuff like that, but a VO booth isn't like building. You gotta buy foams,
Yeah.
acoustic foam, and then there's a way to design it on the wall, and you don't want to make the room. Like if you put too many pads on the wall, sound will sound muted, which sounds really bad. Then if you don't do enough pads on the wall, it'll sound like echoey and tinny. I'm not in the studio talking right now. I have like blankets. I built like a little area in my basement of my brother's house that like I kind of set up as a podcast area, because if we did this upstairs in my studio, there's no air in the closet, so it's just too hot.
If you don't mind me asking, is this the same brother that you talked about in your stand-up routine about your gay brother who just seems straight?
Oh yeah.
I want to clarify this right now. I'm gonna have links. The entire description is just gonna be filled with links about TJ Del Reno, because you do stand up, you do acting, and you do voice acting, and you also have a podcast.
I did it. Yeah, and I do podcasting. Yeah, the podcasting we did since.
I can believe that.
Podcasting, the podcast I started in 2012 called Unlimited Lives, and we were on Sirius XM first for the first year under UCB Radio, which is Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah.
I was on a house team, an improv house team at that theater in New York. Then, yeah, it all like, it's like like they say, like math, what's it called? Like man of many trades, master of none. Like, it's just like, stand-up was, I always loved doing stand-up, and I would do the road, and I would feature, which is like the middling act, and I would headline sometimes, but it's just, you know, and then it's just, I love doing like stand-up, I love doing sketch, I do a lot of sketches.
Yeah, speaking of which, so, to, you know, when I got you to be able to come on here, I was like, shit, I need to know a lot about you, and so I rewatched the Swag to interview, and I went and checked out your stand-up. I was gonna listen to your podcast, but I never got around to it. And then I watched your comedy sketch show with Friends Like These, and I even showed it to my friend, and my friend fucking loved it. Now that thing only got 5 episodes. Do you mind explaining yourself, TJ Del Reno? How dare you give us Comedy Gold and only give us 5 episodes?
Wait, only 5 episodes? Dare I do 5 episodes?
Yeah. Why did you not continue that? That was a great show.
So I do a bunch of sketches with my friend Christopher Graves, who I did with Friends Like These, who plays like the straight man. He's also in Red Dead. He's the straight man. Like, I'm the weirdo.
Yeah,
like, that's how comedy works. Like, it's very Odd Couple. It's like the straight man and then the weirdo.
Yeah.
So, he's in Red Dead too.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Does he voice like a main character, or is he voice like a pedestrian?
No, I think he's like a B or C level character. I think he might have been if a character's head gets dumped in a porta-john, like dunked in an outhouse. I think he was the one doing it. So I'm not sure. I'd have to ask him. He's one of my best friends ever, and I've not met him doing acting, and he's a huge. He does TV roles. He does tons of VO. He does audiobooks. He's amazing, and his wife is amazing. Her name's Rebecca Soler.
I thought you were about to say his wife's really hot. I thought this was gonna get to like some weird shit.
I mean, she's beautiful. She's amazing.
Okay.
She's voiced she does tons of audiobooks, tons of cartoons, tons of video games. She's huge, and so we kind of like.
Oh shit.
we first did it, I don't know, we did the first season. It was really very stressful because it was
Okay.
all. He started a production company to make it, and he did everything. I mean, Christopher like wrote it. I helped write it too, but he like wrote the script, wrote the story.
Yeah.
Like, he did everything, and he really poured his heart, blood and sweat into it.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like this, even in the show, my character's like a aloof idiot.
Yeah.
And then like in real life shooting, I never did a huge project. I don't know script analysis. I don't know I don't know the quote what your character wants from a scene. Like there's all these things if you're not a trained actor.
Gotcha.
I didn't know about. So I just as a voiceover person, like even doing Bully was very hard to do because I didn't have any training in acting.
Gotcha.
Okay. So when I was doing stuff like it's any kind of other VO I do cartoon stuff. Like I did a cartoon I think called Last Man that I'm a character in.
Yeah, I think I heard of it
recently. Yeah. And then like it's just anytime I book these roles where it's acting, it's just tricky. Like I'm not good at. I kind of was an idiot on set. The fact that I just wasn't professional, and it really, by all means, and like he, like we made it through the project together. And when it was over, I like had to apologize to him because I was like, dude, I was going through like a weird hiccup and I was unprofessional and I was distracted. And it wasn't fair till about the last 2 episodes. I was like kind of on point where I was like understood like, oh, what do I want from the scene? What do I need? So we're still best friends. I love him to death and he's amazing.
Yeah, okay.
I remember it to a point where he's like, dude, he had a crossroad maybe about feel like a year ago or something like that, and he's like, hey, if he wanted to like a big step in his life of like getting a house and spending all like putting money into something else.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or he goes, do you want to do a second season? And I remember when he said the second season, I was just like, I'm down. And I promised him, I'm like, dude, I swear I will be 160% like focused on the second season. I'm not going to be an idiot. Like I'm going to know my lines. I'm going to know what my character wants. But we were doing it. But the crossroad happened where he goes, if A happens, we will do the second season. And if B happens, we're not going to do a second season because I got to save my money. But we got to the point where B happened and it was and it was awesome. It was good news. It wasn't like which one? Oh, did you go with the wrong one?
No. Okay. So we were over here. And I decided to take the bus all the way back to the school, and then I looked to realize what mission it was, and it was the mission where we meet Jimmy's love interest, Zoe, and I was like, fuck, I'm an idiot. All right, continue.
Okay, you gotta go back.
Yeah.
So that's why I still want to do a second season. Now it's like crazy because everything's nuts, but no, like I said, that was the crossroad, but it was it was great, and like it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was great news because like it's all working out because
he's more successful than you, yeah.
Way more successful. Everything's going way better. We're living in my brother's basement, staring at a mattress facing a table. It's a fake podcasting booth I'm in right now. Like, let me tell you something.
Talking to a 17-year-old on a channel that doesn't even have 100 subs.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, this is the highlight of my week. After this, I'm going to go watch 90 Day Fiance and eat a bowl of pie. I got nothing. But yeah, I wish we could do it. And then I focused. My friend Jeff Cerulli, we have a production company we call Piggy Head Productions, and we do like really funny sketches. And we have a web series we did recently called 3DO Guys.
Okay.
Which is these two guys. We play ourselves back in the 90s.
There we go. Tear jeans. 3DO. I got you.
Yeah, with my ripped jeans. When the 3DO first came out, and we're like two guys that MTV hired that were like obsessed with the 3DO. And the 3DO is a huge, such a weird system, such a sordid, weird history. So, I mean, I'm a huge gamer, man. I'm a huge nerd, geek, and like I'm.
I'm pretty sure you had a video. I even watched some of your YouTube channel because, like I said, I wanted to just understand you, and that would be easier to ask you questions and stuff. You were opening up the Pit Boy, and then I think you made a joke saying like, "Oh yeah, this is how I could scare more women off or something," or like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I used to have when I had like my own place for a while. It was a very nerdy. Remember, so I lived in an apartment with my friend Mike. And I went to college at Pratt in Brooklyn.
Okay.
We had an apartment, and I moved to a neighborhood called Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, which is it's all Italian years, and then and then it turned. I think the neighborhood now is a lot of it's like even like Vietnamese, Korean. It's like Hasidic, and then when you go the other way, it's like kind of Italian left. So we were living in like not in the Italian areas, in the other areas.
Yeah.
We had this apartment, and in my bedroom was 23, I think. I would stand up like 7 nights a week.
What are you
I had a
at?
Pokemon pillowcase, and then
Me, scumbag.
I had an entertainment center in the bedroom, and on top of the entertainment center, I had
My name's Jimmy.
boxes of Transformers, Armada, and Transformer toys
Zoe.
that were in the
I was at
box,
Woolworth once. I got
not
kicked out.
sealed,
Why?
because I
Let's just say
opened
Mr.
them
Burton
and would
is a
play with
dirty
them
creep.
like whatever when I was like
I would love to teach that
15
guy
or
a lesson.
14.
Bullies
Mhm.
everyone.
You know,
And I
he
had the
goes jogging
toys.
every day and regularly
So
uses
there were like
porta
these
potties in the park.
janky boxes.
Yeah. So if
half
we can catch
opened
him
with
indoors
toys
on
in
top of a hill,
And I
then
just
Mr. Burton
remember
could
it
really
was. I used to have a
interesting
bit
time in
Yeah,
about.
but they're all chained
There was
together.
one
We'll
time
need to get some bolt cutters.
Go get
invited
some
this
from
girl
Zaz
over
in the
who
store.
I had a huge crush on at Pratt, and we really got along. And I think we went on like one date. And then
And then she
came
realized
back-
she could do better. She was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was like, "Where's your friend Christopher again?" And I'm like, "Well, hang on a second. We're gonna do a season 2, I think so." So she came back to my apartment. We're sitting in the living room, and we're having like drinks. We're drinking, and then like we start making out, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to go? Do you want to go in my room?" And she was like, "Yeah." And it's a true story. She walked in my bedroom and she knew I was a nerd, but she saw all the toys.
But that's when she realized you
Pokemon
were a
Pillowcase.
virgin as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then she turned around laughing and she was like, no, I'm not going in there. No. And like we were back in the living room and like just made out on the couch until I think finally she was like, all right, fine. It was.
She gave you like petty sex or what?
No, I think she liked me, but she was like, I think she wouldn't face the Transformer toys. And she wouldn't look at that wall. I think she was averting.
And she didn't want to
averting
lay
her
on the
eye.
Pokemon pillowcase.
I think she actually had me take the pillow off, but she thinks she was like, this pillow you have to take this off the bed. And I was like, I'll just turn it over. And then I turned it over, and instead of Ash and Pikachu on one side, it's like, the other side's like Bulbasaur, Charizard, and like Squirtle. And she's like, get this pillow off the bed or I'm leaving.
That's fucking awesome.
It's so funny. I'm still friends with her to this day, and that used to be one of my old. That used to be an old stand-up joke I did. Was that bit of? I used to love doing that joke.
God, speaking of stand-up and like I said, you do stand-up, voice acting, podcast hosting. Do you have any advice for people who like might want to get into that stuff, such as stand-up and voice acting? Because I think those are things I would 100% want to get into. I just haven't found like the opportunity to get into them.
Did you get them?
I think
Yeah, I got him. Now
I think it's number one now. I get people that ask me this question a lot for voice acting, and now more than ever, I have no idea. We're in such a weird, crazy time that like the amount of money you would spend
this
Okay.
sounds like it's gonna
to build a home studio. It doesn't have to be like professional.
Yeah.
My studio is like a walk-in closet. I took command strips, bought a bunch of sound foams, and like paid one of my sound engineer friends who has a studio. He's brilliant. This guy Frank Verdosa. He's brilliant. I paid him like I gave him the dimensions of the room, the amount of money I spent building the studio, the microphone I bought, the interface I bought. You'll spend so much money trying to break into something that you'll make no money for either forever or not enough.
Gotcha.
Because and I know it sounds like I'm just shitting on someone's dream, but the amount of work you have to put in,
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
either so crazy. Like when I first got into voiceover, number one, it was 2005.
Oh, I heard the dog.
Yeah. Which one?
I was throwing firecrackers at the porta potty because we have to destroy it. So the gym teacher
That
uses
poor
a
dog.
specific porta potty because we're gonna knock him off a cliff anyway.
Ah.
You'll see us pretty much try to murder the guy.
Oh jeez. So it was like it's all like luck. When people say it's luck and who you know, it kind of like is. It was like luck that at the time I tried doing it, illustration teacher was like, "Why don't you do radio?" She literally said it to me. And I was like, "I don't. What do you mean? I don't know." She's like, "I don't know. You should do radio commercials. You have a great voice." Then I just took like this seminar with casting director named Jody Collins. She just took a shine to me. She liked my voice, and she's like, "Hey, here's 4 agencies to call. I'm referring you." And then I met with like 3 agencies.
Look at that guy.
Innovative. Oh, he's covered in poop.
I like how you say poop.
Yeah, covered in poop. Yeah, I don't want to curse. Then he.
You're more than welcome
Yeah.
to.
So like it just was luck has it. So it's a sad thing when someone asks me. I'm like, man, voiceover. Like I don't know anymore. Like, gotta have a good home setup now. Even if you do, I don't know where you go. Like I got in such a weird angle that this casting director liked me. My agent had faith in me. I sucked for 5 years. I was terrible at doing voice acting, including I did in bowling. Like I was not trained.
Okay.
And it just then you kind of book stuff. Then then the union merged. Then I became union. But even nowadays, man, it's like there's no it's out there. It's like celebrities were doing so much voiceover, and they still are. Guys like me, who's just a regular voice actor, I used to make a living off it, and then it just got weird.
Yeah. Okay.
The bottom line is,
Don't follow your dreams, kids.
the bottom line is kill your dreams because
Yeah.
they're just gonna attack you forever. And then if you want to do cartoons and video games, video games are also celebrities starting to do them, so that's even smaller. It's video games are who you know, and then cartoons don't pay a lot at all. And again, cartoons are
Really?
who you know. Oh, dude, cartoons though. I mean, there's don't not pay well. It's just they don't for the amount of work you do.
You don't feel like you're being paid enough.
I mean, it's just there's not a lot of money, but it's like if you book a character and you go in for an hour session, the session pays you like, let's say $250. You know, when I say that to you, you don't do voiceover. You're like, whoa. If I told you that's your only job, you're gonna make $250
An hour.
once every 3 months,
Oh, okay,
if at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it never balances it out, and you have to be serious regular. And again, that's who you know.
Oh yeah. 'Cause
It's just-
you've done voice work on Yu-Gi-Oh, and didn't you also do Pokemon?
I've done and again, I've done like grunts on Pokemon, like Grunt 5 and like other characters. And I auditioned for Pokemon a lot, but again, I knew the woman that booked me was someone I knew through someone else who then brought me in to audition for a character, and then just we got along. And her name's Lisa Ortiz. She's amazing. She's a big voice actress. She's a friend of mine, and she's great. But I met her through a friend, and then they're like, "Well, TJ does voiceover," and then she was just sweet enough to call me in a couple times until like I booked a couple things, and then again, you know, then Yu-Gi-Oh I booked. I did stand up. This comedy, it wasn't even a comedy club. It was the back of a restaurant called Charlie O's.
Wait, I'm sorry. Were you doing stand-up in just the back of a restaurant, or?
Dude, yeah. Wait till I get into the reason you should never do stand-up. Stand-up comedy is the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst shit on earth. Any asshole will run a show at any asshole place for no reason and no set. I've done shows without microphones. I've done shows on pool tables. I've done shows in dark corners of rooms. It's because everyone's an idiot that tries to run a show unless like you know what you're doing. So a friend ran a show at the back of this restaurant called Charlie O's, and the back of the restaurant was a comedy club called Joe Franklin's Comedy Club.
Gotcha.
It wasn't a comedy club. It was in the back of a restaurant. Someone built a stage, put a sound system in, put chairs in. It was like its own enclosed room.
Okay.
So I did stand up, and I had this bit where I did an old man voice talking about the G train, which is the subway, and I was like, "Oh, first you must go through here." And the train's coming. You see the lights towards you, closer.
You sound like a character from like Middle Earth or something, or like
Exactly.
Skyrim.
So the bit was basically like this old man. As a young kid, I was like, "Hi, where's the G train, sir?" And then the G train ran so bad that the premise was, train was so bad that it was a myth in that area. Ah, you mean the G train? I've heard of that train before. So, doing that bit after the show, this woman came up to me and she was like, "Hi, I'm friends with a friend who booked it," and she was like, "Listen, that voice is so funny. That was such a funny bit. Great job." And I'm like, "Thank you so much." Then she's like, can you come in to do something for Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D? Like, I have a character that he's a lion unicorn, and that voice is so good. I think that would be a great voice for this character." So I went in thinking it was an audition, and then I went in and it was just me. I was like, "Oh, is there a sign-up sheet?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, this is an audition, right?" And she was like, "Oh, no, this you booked it. I want you to do this voice." And I was like, "Oh." That's how I got Regulus. But again, there it is. I did stand up.
Gotcha.
That woman met me there. I did. So it's, if you don't live in New York City and you're not doing like comedy, or you're not in circles of people doing voiceover, breaking in is so,
Said I'd do it.
I just don't know. Even if you kind of broke in, you'll never make a living off it, and you'll just be kind of booking stuff every now and then. So it's
Gotcha.
well, like my friend Jason Griffith was the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog for years.
Really?
It's like, oh yeah, and
Holy
I
shit.
love Jason, and I met Jason. He was just a voice actor I would see around, around at auditions together, and I love him. He's one of my favorite
Hey,
people,
what you
and like
looking at?
Hey, Zoe.
just booked,
You want
he
us some
auditioned for
fun stuff,
Sonic, he
guy?
booked it,
What
and then he had like
Not that
7
kind.
years
I
of
only
just
date
consistent
older men or junkies.
video games,
They're
cartoons.
so
Like it just was
romantic.
consistent
Come
work.
on. What's wrong
He's
with
also a
me?
brilliant actor.
Well, everybody hates
So,
you. You're a little twerp.
but stand up is like, I don't even, you can't, stand up is dead right now
Apart from
because of
that,
the
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
COVID. And even if you did, you live in California, I think, right?
Yeah,
Unless
Yeah,
that's a
yes.
secret.
Yeah, no, I don't give a shit about anyone knowing anything about my life.
Oh,
I'm
good
very
lord.
open.
I was like, great. I just gave away your position. Now you're
Yeah,
like, oh, you idiot.
I just start yelling, get upset at you.
Yeah,
End
you
the
said
fucking
the
call,
you're like,
block you on Twitter.
yeah, interview over. So, I think like California is very tough for stand up. Like New York City is, if you wanted to pursue stand up and it was something that someone loved, got to move to New York City or Boston or maybe Chicago or even LA if you live close to LA. And it's just like, it's such a grind of just write material about yourself and about growing up and just constantly hit up mics every week and constantly get in the circle. It's just, it's stand up is a little less who you know. Still who you know, you should get on shows.
Yeah, okay.
You could kind of like, if you go to a comedy club and hang out at a comedy club enough,
Gotcha.
do the open mic at said comedy club enough,
Okay.
meet the staff and befriend the staff and befriend the manager, and the booker sees you. It's like you can work your way into a club,
Okay.
but it's so much work of like, I'd have good material and then just grind it. I started stand up at in Brooklyn, but I started, first comedy club was this club called Pips Comedy Club, Brooklyn, New York, in Sheepshead Bay. And like Hoffman was there, Dice was there, Sandler started there. Like,
Really?
it was
God.
this dude, it was this famous comedy club in Brooklyn. It is now a sushi joint. But it was this famous club, but I legit, like, I knew the booker. I knew was this guy Joey Gay, who did Last Comic Standing. He's super funny and I love him. And I met him at an open mic he ran, and he's like, "Hey, I'm booking this comedy club, Pips. You ever hear of it?" And I was like, "This young 21-year-old comic and who just started." And I was like, "No." And he's like, "You come through." So I just came through, and I would bark outside the club and try to sell tickets in the street to get people to come in. And then, once a show, they'd give me 5 minutes. I would do 5 minutes on a Friday and Saturday night in front of a packed house, and then just, But I did the mic there. I did shows there. I produced shows. I brought my friends to watch my shows. It's like, you got to put an effort into it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No,
You
yeah, I
do.
can see
There's
that.
it's just you. But even again, like, I hate to keep shitting on this, but there's no money in doing stand-up unless you grind your ass off and run your own show somewhere that's successful.
Yeah.
Even then, you'll never make a living off it. Because even comics, I'm friends with so many comics that had their own Netflix special, that had their own thing. But if I know for a fact, if I'm like, you live off stand-up comedy? Their answer is no. They're like, no, I think I sold the script and I write for this show and I write for this. It's just it's weird. Like there's no money. So it's podcasting. There's no money in podcasting, but I don't get paid doing my podcast. The amount of our little fan base that we have, and that's it's unlimited lives, and it's on Facebook too. We have like a little group on Facebook that if this live, it's not a big show, but there's a group of fans that we have that I love that we just like I play games with them, and if they hit me up, I'm always having a dialogue on it. But podcasting is something I really love doing. It's super fun.
Me and all my like real life best friends, we have a group YouTube channel called Nerd Table, because that's what we were just known as in high school. Because we legit always sat at the same table every day, and we'd argue over who'd win in a fight or some shit like that. And so when we made the channel, we actually, the whole point of it was to actually start a podcast, and we're like, I think we're like probably 40 videos in. We've only recorded one episode of that podcast. And
really?
And we find it really funny. And one of these days, I'm just gonna be like, all right, guys, let's record at least let's try to get to at least 10 episodes before we give up on recording a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Zoom. I think is such a cool. Everybody uses Zoom, and Zoom is such an easy way to kind of do a sketch of a podcast where you just like you guys all do a Zoom call together, and just one of you hits record, and then just you record a Zoom, it exports the audio file is separate and the video file is also there. And it's like, I think if you really want to do it, just start like having like once a week, do like 30-minute Zoom hangouts together, hit record, and just bash that on your YouTube channel. I mean,
lately we've started a Minecraft series. My best friend Trevor was over here, and we played Alien Isolation together, and we would swap off, and we also did Dead by Daylight together. We now started breaking into gaming on that channel, because before we would just talk about like, which comic character would win this, and I had a short series called Holiday Horrors, where I would talk about like horror movies revolved around a holiday. Oh, speaking of horror,
like Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I'm actually going to be talking about that one next Christmas. I actually talked about Black Christmas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think I heard of that one. I want to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night. I want to watch it.
Actually, I want to have a debate with you about horror, sir, because I was actually looking to, because I followed you on Twitter, and first off, I don't ever use fucking Twitter. I feel like I have to now because you followed me. You're my one follower.
That's true. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, my first ever follower is TJ Del Reno, so I can brag about that. I believe you said Jason Takes Manhattan is the Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And I want to clarify this. I like Nightmare on Elm Street 2. How the fuck dare you? That is not the... Do you think Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is the worst Elm Street movie?
I don't think it's so I don't think it's the worst at all. And I also understand that like when you watch it again, there's a lot of like gay undertones, and that's what the point. Like Nightmare 2, it's a weird thing to say. Nightmare 2, I think, is a very important movie in the horror genre because it was there was a lot of undertones in it. The director like on purpose made it like a lot of gay undertones because he was and the actor was. I think it doesn't, to me, it doesn't fit. I think it's the Jason Takes Manhattan in the way that it doesn't fit to me in the Nightmare series, because even though now, like I said, I have to rewatch it now with the lens of this is what the director wanted.
Yeah.
I think it's like when you watch Nightmare 1, and also Nightmare is one of my favorite series ever.
Yeah. I like the Nightmare series. Actually, I have a great fucking story. With my sister, I have all older sisters. My youngest oldest sister was over at my oldest sister's house, and they just got done watching Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the power went out at their house, and so they had my sister saw to go take a shower though, and she's like 6 years older than me, so I don't think I was around this time. But my older sister's boyfriend went into the bathroom, wrote like words on the fucking mirror, because it was all steamed up. And when she got out of the shower, she freaked the fuck out because she thought Freddy Krueger was coming for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did he do four lines with his fingers, like the claws?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's like, I think you watch Nightmare 1, Freddy's the boogeyman.
Yeah.
It's like a weird witch-like boogeyman. Then 2 is it's such a departure because then it's like Freddy trying to get into the real world inside this kid's body.
Yeah.
It's so
I can understand that.
different. Yeah, and then like when you hit 3 with Dream Warriors, back to the formula of Freddy's in the dream. If you dream about Freddy, if you die, you're dead in the dream, you're dead in the real world.
Yeah, and all
Then
those kids
4
were children of the kids who burned Freddy, so it even made more sense on why he was going after them. In the second one, it seemed like there was something specifically about the house. That's what it seemed like in the second one.
The second one seemed like the glove was kind of like made you possessed.
Yeah, it was weird.
I gotta watch Nightmare 2. It's just like, just sits out. It doesn't make sense. And then when you look at the Friday series, because then of course Nightmare 4 is the Dream Master.
Yeah, which by the way, that is probably, I don't know which Friday the Third or Nightmare on Elm Street movie I hate more. It's either Dream Master or Dream Child, because Dream Master, it's just such a fucking, I don't know what it is about that movie. Like, there's this one scene where like the main protagonist's brother fights Freddy while like in a kung fu scene, but that was filmed because his funeral scene was already filmed, so they had to like put him on like a cheap ass set and have his ass whooped while doing kung fu. It was such a weird fucking scene.
So weird, and like, gotta rewatch all the Nightmares again just because I love them. Yeah, 4. I think I liked 4 a lot. Dream Child was a little weird, and Freddy's Dead I loved, which people hate Freddy's Dead. The reason I think Nightmare, when you look at the Friday series, it's like Friday the 13th 1 is brilliant.
Yeah.
The twist, it's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Friday 2 is awesome. Friday 2 is such a good slasher movie, not a Jason movie, but a good slasher movie.
Yeah.
Then Friday 3 and 4 are great. 3 is so weird with the 3D, but it's a great Jason movie.
Yeah, no, 3 is probably it's either 3 or 6 is my favorite, because I like that 6 was like it was like the only Jason film to not show nudity, and it was like the fucking opening where like it's like a James Bond parody with Jason throwing the fucking machete. Like, it's so weird that I loved it.
Yeah, it's so 3 and 4 are great Jason movies to me, where Jason's in his prime. Like, he's not he's a zombie, but he's kind of like a human unstoppable Jason. Then 5, I'll take this back. Friday the 13th 5 is the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 of the series, because 5 is such a weird version. It's like the season of the witch Halloween of the thing.
Yeah.
Because 5 is like, there's an imposter, there's a twist, it's not Jason.
Yeah, and the ending of that movie was Tommy Jarvis was supposed to be like the new Jason or something. Yeah.
And then when they did, so 5 was so weird because 5 had what is whoever the kid's name was from 4?
Tommy Jarvis.
Yes.
Yeah, the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, 4, 5, and 6.
Tommy. Yes, you're right. Yes. So they wanted Tommy to be Jason, and then Jason Lives, which is 6, the one you like, was like a weird.
Yeah, like and at one point there's like a car chase scene, and it's fucking awesome in my opinion. That's why I just like that one so much.
Jason Lives is great, and then you have 7, which 7's pretty good too. It's just Jason Takes Manhattan it's so bad.
Me and my friend have a constant debate about what is the worst Jason movie. I say it's Jason Goes to Hell, because in my opinion that is not a fucking Jason movie. It's a movie of people doing really bad Jason impressions. And he always says
You're 100%.
And he says it's Jason X. And the only thing I like about Jason X is that it's in a new setting. That's the only thing I like about that movie. And fucking Uber Jason at the end. That is badass.
I think Jason 10 is really good. I think Jason 10's a great Jason movie. I agree with your friend that Jason Goes to Hell sucks.
No. I say Jason Goes to Hell sucks. He thinks Jason X sucks.
Jason Goes to Hell sucks. Yeah, I'm 100% with you on this, because
Thank you.
Even Jason Takes Manhattan, the reason that's such a weird movie is because it takes place all on the boat. It's a terrible ending.
Yeah.
It's a good Jason movie because he's on a boat, but it's so weird. It's like none of it makes sense. go. All right, so I'm gonna clap just in case. Like I said, I'll send you this audio. If you use it, great. If you don't, doesn't matter.
All right. I'll just save it for like personal weird reasons.
Yes. Well, I can't hear you. It's literally me talking into nothing.
Quit squirming.
Wait, was I?
It's so weird. So I use there's a program I use called Source Connect, and it's free, but you can't do it. It'd be, in order to screen watch like you're doing everything, I think it'd be too crazy. Stuff is my friend Joe would know how to do it. Yeah, let me know, because we got a thing at 4 sharp, so at like 3:57 I gotta bounce. So
Yeah,
if you want to pick it back up, so then we can kind of like wrap it up a little bit for you. Then it's not halfway through the interview. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, but continue what you were saying about Jason.
Oh yeah, so basically, I don't know when it cut out, but I think it's like Jason 10, such a great heightening, and then Jason 7, Friday the 13th 7 is called The New Blood, which I just looked up, which is the girl, where the psychic girl, it's Jason, which I think is, I still think is very good, but it's very Nightmare on Elm Street weird. Now we're getting 7s when we start getting weird. It's like, this girl.
Jason fans call that pretty much everyone I know calls that Jason versus Carrie, because that's pretty much what it is. Just Jason finds some
hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, it's Jason versus Carrie. So it's like, no, but I think it's pretty good. But I'm gonna watch Jason 10 just because like I haven't seen it in a little bit. But I think Jason 10 is good, and then Jason versus Freddy's not bad.
The characters are the worst part in my opinion. Also, I love that there's that one fucking. My fucking favorite part of that whole movie is where the girl wakes up and goes, "Wait a minute, Freddy's scared of fire. Jason's scared of water. How do we use that?" And me being a person who loves the Friday movies, I just remember all the fucking scenes where Jason's in water. I'm just like, yeah, definitely terrified of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, oh my god, now that you say that, you're 100% right. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you
I ruined that entire movie for you.
I mean, it's just, well, they ruined it for not having, like, yeah, that's true. Why would you think Jason he'd be afraid of water when he...
Yeah, and everyone thought that movie was going to be... everyone wanted that movie to be Kane Hodder Jason versus Robert Englund Freddy, but they casted someone else as Jason. And for fuck's sake, I can get a photo of this, but Jesus, I just zoom in on it. What the fuck? Anyway, and also like another thing that sucks about that movie is every time Jason hits someone with his machete, they just fly across the map.
Oh yeah, it's so. Yeah, it's such a shame that movie wasn't as good as it should have been.
Yeah.
And then the remake of Friday was like.
I liked the remake.
Hated it.
What, really?
Did you?
I liked it because, in my opinion, it made more sense to me. Because, like, Jason was, like, a hunter, and I thought that was really cool. I liked that he would, like, have traps and shit out. Like, because, you know, to me, with, like, the original Jason, after seeing that one, I was just like, fucking Jason just seems like an idiot in the woods. Fuck.
Yeah, I think it was, like, I didn't want to see where Jason lived. I thought that was weird. We already saw where he lived when he lived in that little shed.
Yeah.
Like, I think to me, like, it took away the illusion of, like, Jason. It was like, you know, like, oh, he'd always catch up with someone, and then you found out it's like, oh, he's like underground tunnels, and it's like,
that kind of made sense to me because, like that's the one thing I kind of hated about the horror remakes. Like, in my opinion, the best horror remakes we got was Silent Night, Deadly Night. What was it? The Friday one and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought was a fucking amazing remake.
Yeah, I like Texas Chainsaw Remake. I thought was really good. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm not a big Halloween fan. I like
what? I'm sorry.
I liked his Halloween.
Fuck. TJ, if there was any chance we were gonna continue talking after this, I think it just got fucking ruined.
Why? I like Rob Zombie a lot.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You're like a rocker guy. I am not at all. My dad was a huge rocker, and I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Like, I liked Rob's movies. I mean, here's the thing, man. I don't have anything invested in Halloween.
Fair enough.
Never got into it. I thought, and like you're gonna be upset as well, but I always thought Michael Myers was kind of like a boring character because he was just they treated him like he was supernatural, but he wasn't supernatural. He was just a mental case.
Well, then it later turned out that he was like possessed by a fucking cult or something.
Yeah, then like that came up, which is like, okay, which is just weird because then you didn't do that in the beginning. Then like the whole thing, he was just obsessed with killing like Jamie Lee Curtis. Then that got so lost, and plus like I think they just lost me with how many bad Halloweens there were. Like Friday the 13th, when I watched 1 through like 7, I will stand behind 1 through 7, and even Nightmare on Elm Street, I'll stand behind all of them. All Nightmare movies, even like New Nightmare, I still think is like, I hated it at first, then I watched it again and I was like, oh no, this is pretty good. I'll stand.
Out of all the out of all the Elm Street movies, I think my favorite is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I don't know why, I just really like that one. Just I like that Wes Craven's like thing came to life.
It was great, and it was also like a different way to get Freddy in. Like I hated it when I first saw it and I liked it, but I will like, but Freddy movies like 1 through 7, which is 1 through New Nightmare, they're all great. Even 2, like 2 is such a weird departure, but then again, like I said, if there was like, I have to watch it through the lens of what it was. It wasn't a bad Freddy movie. Like Halloween, it's like, I think I saw like the first one's classic, so Halloween 1 in the 70s is awesome.
Yeah.
Then like I have to watch 2 again. I haven't seen 2 in like forever. And then it's like, then you do Season of the Witch that they're idiots for. And then they go back with
the original idea of Halloween is that each Halloween movie was supposed to be like a new thing happening on the day of Halloween. But so many people like Michael Myers that when they meet 3,
brought him back.
Yeah, they're like people like John Carpenter. You have to bring him back for 2 and then end him there. If he did Season of the Witch then brought Michael Myers back, I think it would have been a whole different situation. But
I mean, even I know like 3 is Michael Myers, but then it started getting nuts with like H2O, Resurrection.
H2O was good because that went back to the normal formula, and then Resurrection was fucking, what was it? God, who was the rapper?
Coolio.
Coolio. Yeah, he just fucking beating the shit out of Michael Myers with Kung Fu. It was so weird.
It was so, dude. It was such a bad. I watched it not too long ago. H2O. It's so abysmal because it's like it is a movie that doesn't age because it's a sign of the times. Because when it came out, reality TV was so new.
Yeah.
And all these weird like Big Brother shows, and it was such a sign of the times. Like terrible acting, terrible story. I think it's like Halloween. Just like you look at Halloween and you look at it as laying it out all like if I'm looking at them all in a spectrum of Halloween.
Yeah.
There's so many bad Halloween movies and so many misses with Season of the Witch. Like I said, when you hold up Friday and you hold up Nightmare, I think that, you know, only like 8, I think, sucks because of like Jason Takes Manhattan, and Hell sucks. Like I said, 1 through 7 Friday movies are awesome. And then Nightmare, all of them to me are awesome, except like Dream Child's weird, but they all play on these things. But Halloween, I think, is such a mess. Even Hellraiser is such a mess. Hellraiser I watched with my buddy recently, and I never got into it as a kid, loving horror. Like I never got into it as a horror fan for Hellraiser.
Yeah, I never got into Hellraiser either.
They're not great. They're not terrible, but they're not great. It's like they have these cool characters, like the Cenobites are so cool. The idea of hell is so cool, and like this sex and flesh and hooks and masochism and violence and weird. And then like the whole movie, it's like 80% of the movie is just normal characters that suck. And Hellraiser's another series that just, if you look at them in a whole broad spectrum of them, it's like the first 2 are good, and then they puppet master them. They just get so bad.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue with horror, is that no one knows when to stop. Like Scream, in my opinion, like Scream 3 sucks ass. I fucking don't like Scream 3. But
1 and 2 are so good.
1 and 2 are the best, and then 4 is right under there, and then 3 is the worst. But because I remember when I saw Scream as a kid, that was my in my full-fledged opinion, I think Scream might be my favorite horror franchise, and then right under is Friday the 13th. But
Scream is so great.
Yeah.
You're right. It's just like they don't know when to stop, because relatively successful. And also you should watch the documentary, like it's on YouTube, it's like memoirs of Crystal Lake or something like that, and it's all the Friday movies. It's a documentary that goes through all the movies. Dude, it's awesome. So you should definitely watch it.
All right,
Oh, it's so great. Dude, it's great. And it's like an 8-hour documentary. So like space it out. Watch like an hour a night just to kind of, but I would watch a Friday movie and then watch the 30 minutes to an hour documentary on said movie.
Yeah.
But it's just like they didn't know when to stop because horror is such an easy thing to make. It's like, which it isn't. It should be like, special effects are expensive and all that stuff expensive, but it's like they see the success of how much Friday did and how much Nightmare did. And then when you have these one-offs like the Saw series or Child's Play or Scream, it's like there's certain horror genres that can go across the spectrum. Texas Chainsaw 1 and 2 are the only two good ones. 3 is nuts. Leatherface sucks.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. They don't know when to stop, unlike us, because I gotta bounce now that it's 4.
Oh yeah, no, well that's why I'm with you. Look, that's you. Look how young and happy, full of life you are, with a cigarette behind your ear.
So being full of life. But this was great, man. What a fun time. Thanks for having me on. And
oh yeah, no, this is actually I just want to mention something before you go. I messaged I want to say a decent amount of the voice actors from Bully, and you were the only one that responded. And if you are the only person I get to come on to my shitty YouTube channel, I fucking appreciate it, and thank you so much, TJ Del Reno.
Of course, man. I can probably try to reach out to Jerry. No promises. To see
really?
If he'll do but Jerry, it's tough because he's got a whole. I don't know how much he's really doing, but I'm not friends with Jerry, but we've talked texting, messaging, and then I think I interviewed him, I think, for my podcast. Let me see if I can get him on my podcast, and then from there I can just
actually, speaking of podcasts,
because this was super fun.
Oh yeah, no, this was awesome for
great,
me.
All right, man, this is so cool, and check out Unlimited Lives on YouTube or iTunes, and that's my little podcast, and this was great, dude.
Speaking of podcasts, actually, if me and my friends do start our podcast
thank
again,
you.
Can I? Would you be if I can get my
cool,
friends?
Patrick,
for
you
my
there,
podcast?
man?
Oh yeah, I am here. God damn it!
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? That's fucking beautiful. Can you not hear me?
Or audio.
And let me rejoin. TJ, can you hear
Cut
me?
out.
Hello?
I'm here.
Alright, real quickly. If I can get if me and my friends do our podcast, any chance you'd want to come on and we can just have a huge nerd conversation? Would you be honored?
Yes. We'll definitely do it.
Fucking amazing. Alright. Thank you so much, TJ.
Man.
You are the best person I've ever had on my channel. Actually, before we even started this, I even told you that I was starstruck because I'm talking to someone who's from a member of my childhood. So yeah.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, man. Let me know when you guys do it. Like I said, the Zoom call might be the easiest. Thing for everyone on there that you just hit record and it will work. But yeah, keep me posted, man.
All right.
Great meeting you, dude. And let's see. Hit me up for Xbox, any games you want to play.
Oh yeah, I would love. Yeah, is your Xbox gamer tag? It's TJ Grhyme, right?
Hmm? Yeah, put it in here. Yeah, I play some Call of Duty, and my friend plays Dead by Daylight.
Oh.
All right, cool, Patrick. You're the best, dude. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Hey, man. Bye.
Guys, I'm here. I'm gonna pause real quick because I think this is the end of this episode. I know you guys didn't get much of the story from it, but this has just been fucking amazing. TJ, if you see this, thank you. You are so fucking awesome. This has been such a great experience. If he does get Jerry Rosenthal on here, Jerry Rosenthal being the voice actor for Jimmy, the character we play right here. God, I'm just completely brain dead because this has just been so awesome. Again, all links in the description are directly for TJ. Actually, the last link will be my Twitter. I'm now going to start being active on Twitter. If people want to hear my stupid thoughts, go follow me on Twitter. TJ Del Reno follows me on Twitter, so if you want to be a cool guy like him, go follow me on Twitter. Again, this has just been probably my favorite episode I've ever recorded. It's just so awesome. That's the end of this video, guys. Yeah.